Welcome back to an encore presentation of Hall of Fame college football with Jason and the coach. I'm your host, Jason Watkins. He's the coach, Philip Roybal. And if you love college football, you know you're in the right place. So before you forget, smash that red subscriber button, like our videos, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss one moment of Hall of Fame college football. Welcome into the show, everybody. Look at all this. We got all of our peeps in here and coming to see us. Thank you so much. Glad to see everybody in here. Just Ed, what's up, my boy? Mars Jams. We have Stink Cat and Coach Ricks, Ben G, Mars Jams, Steven G. Hey, man, it is good to see all of you.
We got a crew, baby. We got a crew.
Yeah, we got a crew. We don't have the whole crew, though, so get in there and put this out to everybody else. Tell them to get in here and check us out. What's up there, Rob 0077?
All right, Rob.
Big week ahead. Coach, this is a huge week. First week of college football. Lots of stuff going on, and
hey,
I just want to get this go.
No, first week of college football, but FSU got their ass beat last week.
I knew you were going to want to talk about that a little bit. I was trying to set you up, but you just did it anyway. It's all good. Yeah, listen, Coach, we know you called it. I know you called it. I think I did have them picked somewhere. There was some kind of one of the contests I'm in or whatever, because there was just the point spread was too much. I was like, I don't see it. What's up there, Sooner Legends? Good to see you, man.
Sooner.
Game week time. Yeah, look, it's gonna be a lot of fun, man. I'm excited about the whole deal. Look, yeah, we can go over that a smidge. Look, I don't think it had a whole lot to do with quarterbacking. It had a hell of a lot to do with the fact that vaunted defensive front for the Florida State Seminoles looked like paper mache all night, pretty much. And on the other side of it, their offensive line, which was supposed to be fairly vaunted as well, looked like paper mache too. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and defend DJU. I think that there was some trash play calling. I think that once they decided to go for the juggler and like let him throw downfield, he took him down the field. But I think that what we talked about with Florida State being maybe a little hungover from the 63-3 route in the Orange Bowl, not getting into the playoff, I think it may have more of an effect on this season than a lot of people would have said coming in.
And Jason, they lost a lot of good people. I mean, you go back and you look at their roster from last year to this year, and that's why I kept wondering, what are people seeing here? Because you lost some good football players, and going back to what you were talking about, you know, they were still hung over from that 63-point ass whipping, and the culture there, we've been talking about that as well. The culture there, I am not impressed with, and have not been impressed with it. If they don't have a good season, it's trouble.
I don't think you're wrong. We've been talking about the culture that they got there, and it's not a good one. And look, I'm a fan. You know, I mean, we've talked about this. We've had Big Dave on. We're fans of DJU. We're fans of Mateo. We think that that's a good football family, man. And you know, I know that. I think that Big Dave would tell you that DJU has to be more consistent. He has to be more consistent throwing the ball. Now, they hadn't really had him in a lot of great positions, even since he was at Clemson. I think at some point, maybe it gets in your head a little bit that, hey, man, I have to win this thing for us or we're not going to win. And that's not a good way to go into any ball game. You know, you have to go in with confidence, and that just kind of feels like what that is. In the end, I don't think that this is a good situation for him. We talked about it before. We felt like, watch, they're going to go in there, and they're not going to be as very good, and they're going to want to blame this entire thing on DJU. Oh, man, looky here. We got somebody in here, a surprise guest into the chat. The frenemy, Bryce Pinson, the frenemy.
What's up, Coach?
What's up, my brother?
What it is?
You know, been going through some things over here, but I'm ready to go. Let's do this.
Let's do it, baby. Let's do it.
Telling you. Hey, Coach Ricks, Good to see you. Hey, look there, Neilio already with a super chat in here. That's what I'm talking about. Good Tuesday evening, Mr. Jason, Coach Roybal. Hey, everyone. Good to see you, my man. Good to see you, our boy Neilio from KC Mo. Now, Neilio, you got to make sure you stick to this channel because this is going to be your host coming up, Bryce Pinson. He's going to be running it as a Big 12 channel. He's going to be your Big 12 guy. Whoa.
Sorry. Got to clean out the camera a little bit. My bad. I saw that much of him. I wasn't looking good. Wasn't shiny enough.
Anyway, yeah, the dome. Get ready for the dome. It is here. The dome is here, and he will be bringing you a lot of Big 12 content. We're actually going to be working on a preview for that Colorado game tonight. For obviously, it's going to be a Thursday game. So all your Big 12 content will be coming right here on Hall of Fame College Football. We'll see kind of how that goes. So make sure you guys hang on to this channel. Don't go anywhere. But we need all you Sooner folks to jump over to the Hall of Fame Sooner channel as well. Also, you can find both of us, both Bryce and I, on Conference Call College Football as well as that one gets underway. We'll have more to talk about that later. We're going to keep it about football tonight. Coach Roybal, big week, man. And is it felt like to you, Coach, that this is the longest offseason in freaking history?
Oh, hell, I tell you what, it seems like every year I get older, which I'm ancient at this point, but it does feel like it takes forever to get from season to season,
bro.
Off season. And I tell you what, and y'all, and you, both of y'all know this. I hate all the bullshit talk. I just, you know what? I get so sick of that shit. And, sometimes, and you guys in here know, sometimes I just sit in here and listen because I get so tired of talking about bullshit. I want to talk football. Let's talk X's and O's. Let's talk about, the teams, the coaches, let's talk about the real deal. All that other bullshit just wears me out. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I was gonna I'll bring it up later on that, but let's do that because I'm kind of anxious too. We'll talk about the NCAA and its BS suspension of DeMarco later. We can do that. I'm just gonna tell you I think it's horse shit. We'll just go from there. The NCAA has zero power. I don't know why they're even allowing such a thing, but we can move on. Hey there, Kimberly K. Good to see you. Garrett Bullware as well. Just Ed. Trojan Fight. There's my dude.
Trojan
Fight. Good to see Big Bumbo too, man. Dang, man, we're getting all the Trojans in here. LSU going to find out about these Cali boys on Sunday, he says. Man, that's one of the games I'm looking forward to a lot as well. So we're going to talk about that one as too. But look, Coach, this is not your average run-of-the-mill opener, for Saturday for your guys. I mean, the College Game Day is going to be there in College Station. You've got look. I think now that they have an actual grown-up in College Station running that team, that they didn't screaming about sliced bread and all kinds of other stuff that don't matter.
I agree, and
defense is going to be in the way, man. You've got a nice football team. You've got a great defense. What's it going to take for your Notre Dame team to go in there and get a win in Aggieland?
Well, let me start with this, and y'all have heard this before, but I'm going to start with this. It is a big first game for us. I think it sets the tone for the season. But I'll say this. Little ones bunch up, big ones line up, because we're coming to Texas A&M to kick your ass. And it's coming. I'm telling you, it's coming. And I think, Jason, to kind of answer your question, I think a lot of it is going to be our depth. I think Notre Dame has the best depth they've had in years. And I'm not sure that A&M quite has that depth all the way around. I feel like Notre Dame has depth on defense, on offense, and special teams. And so I'm feeling really good about that piece. As you well know, guys, both of them have great defenses. We got a little issue, I think, with our offensive line, which that's the only thing that's kind of giving me a little
It's just a little new, right? A little new though. This is not. We're talking about a Notre Dame program that's put out amazing offensive lines,
right?
Pretty much annually for about 10, 15 years now.
Sure. Now we had, our left tackle that went down in fall camp, Charles Jagasaw, and so they thought they were going to replace him with another kid that he's a senior. I think he was 6'8", 320, and but at 10 days into it, we have a freshman that will be starting at left tackle against A&M's tough defensive ends. But
I would say that means that this guy's really playing well in practice then.
Well, I tell you what, I went back after I heard he was going to be the guy. I went all the way back into his high school film and started watching his high school film. And I'm just telling you, he's a mean mofro. I mean, he's only 6'4", about I think the last measurement we had on him was 6'4", 291, but I think he's right at the 300 now. 6'4" is a little short for a tackle, but his arm reach is excellent. But watching him in his high school film, I tell you what, he was knocking people off their ass even when he didn't need to, and even got a few penalties. So he's got a little shit about him. Coach, yeah.
Real quick, I just wanted to throw this out there. I get your concerns, though, because anytime you have a freshman on the offensive line, especially at that position, there's not going to be that, what am I trying to say? The consistency might be a problem. He might knock some people over, but he's going to make some mistakes. So I get what you're saying.
But I tell you what, I believe this too. Well, and I'm going to come back to that, Bryce. At left guard, actually, we had two guys that started many games on the offensive line last year. One of them started 13 games at left guard. And we have Sam Pendleton that's going to start at the left guard position that won that position outright. And he's a sophomore. So we got a sophomore and a freshman on the left side of the line, which that's concerning because they're going to make some mistakes.
It won't be.
No,
3 or 4 years it won't be.
Exactly. But here's what I like about this, guys. Then I bring in Mike Denbrock because he is very good.
Denbrock's the man.
He's calling plays and adjusting to things. And I'm going to tell you something. You know what he's going to do? He's going to help those guys out by using some tight end help over there. And by the way, we have some excellent tight ends, 3 of them to be exact.
Absolutely. You could get into 12 personnel pretty easy, right?
Exactly.
And I expect to see some 12 personnel out of these guys to kind of help out with, getting an extra chip here or whatever that you need to get.
And even the running backs are going to help too.
Facts.
Yeah, for sure. And you got a quarterback that can move a little bit too.
That's the whole thing. Now, that's a great question there.
Is it Riley Leonard? Man, I'm sitting here thinking about this. It's Riley Leonard, right?
It is Riley Leonard. And here's the deal.
Riley Leonard. I thought, man, am I drawing a blank right on this? But I was struggling. I'm like, dude, I know his name. Why am I struggling?
You're funny.
He was obviously with Coach Elko at Duke last year. So, which is Mike Elko is now Texas A&M's new head coach. And Trojan Fight says, how big of a factor is that in him facing his former quarterback? He should know his strengths and weaknesses very well.
Well, and I believe
it's a fair question.
Oh, it's a great question. And I believe, honestly, I think that's one of the areas we lose in because I think the head coach is going to know his player better than the player is going to know his old head coach. And so I think we got a little loss in that area, but that's just going to keep us from beating them worse. I think it's going to keep the game tighter than what it would have been. But
Coach,
and I got to tell you,
can I ask you a question? You ever been in that situation? You ever coached one of your former quarterbacks or former players like that? And how much of a difference did it make if you did?
Thank God I never had to. So I can't answer that, but
Okay.
but I tell you what, I'm a big Mike Elko fan. I think he did a tremendous job at Duke. Let's be honest. He was at a college basketball school and went in there and helped them win. But let's talk about why they really were winning there. And that goes back to his quarterback that helped him win so many games there. And thank God now he's on our side of the ball and not his.
He's impressive. He's an impressive kid. I really, really, really like Riley Leonard.
Well, two seasons ago before he got hurt, guys, the people in the league were talking about him coming out and making a big difference. And I think he's going to make – and, people – one of the things that's kind of bothered me a little bit, people keep talking about he's injury prone. Hell, guys, he's not injury prone. He got hurt last year. He got hurt last year.
But he played through a lot of injury last year, it seemed like, right?
And he played through it. I mean, so I don't know where the hell the injury prone. I mean, injury prone to me is you hurt your shoulder, you hurt your knee, you cracked your ass. I don't know.
Coach,
he hasn't missed a ton of time though. Go ahead, Bryce. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say Christian McCaffrey's been injury prone every single year, and he can't, and all of a sudden he did. And guess what? Now he's the best player on the planet.
Absolutely. I'm with you, Bryce.
And as he said, before he got hurt, he went down there and they pretty much bitch slapped Clemson in game 1 last year. They put it on them. And you can say whatever you want. You make all the Clemson excuses you want to. They put it on them. They were if it wasn't for the turnovers, well, who the hell do you think caused them turnovers?
Yeah,
it happens. So the one thing I would tell you is that I think that this is a great matchup, and the reason I like this matchup is, look, I think Riley Leonard's going to be really good. I also think Connor Wegman is going to be really good, right? I think that there is a question on that offensive line on that side of the ball, and that could be a bigger problem than any questions that you have at Notre Dame, because, look, Wegman has been injury prone. He hadn't made it. He's 2 seasons he's been there. He hadn't made it through either one of them. So, I would tell you that, look, new offense, new everything there, and it's not one guy we're talking about. It's a bunch of guys, and we're not sure where they're going to be. Look, I do think it's going to be a lot of really good defensive battle there, because, and what I was saying is, if they're having issues on their offensive line, I'm thinking that, I know we kept hearing about Florida State's defensive front. I don't want to hear it. I'm going to tell you now, one of the best defensive fronts or 2 of the best defensive fronts in the country are going to be on the field Saturday against each other. But it's going to be really I think Notre Dame is probably top 3 anyway. So somewhere in that top 3 to 5 range in defensive line, man. The defensive line is just that good. Not only that, you got a great secondary. This could be kind of a tough entry into. Now, listen, you got to deal with the 12th man. You're going to have to deal with the 12th man, and we know that's a thing. But I do think there's a reason why, even though they're on the road, you still have Notre Dame favored to win this one. And I like Mike Elko. I don't think they get this one. That's just me.
Well, and I guarantee you can ask 100 people, and you're going to get probably 54, 50 against. I mean, it's pretty split looking at it and talking to people. And again, let's talk about the 12th man. Yeah, the 12th man. I mean, they're incredible. They're loud. It's tough. We're probably going to see some false starts. But I'm going to tell you what, you jump on their ass about 14-0, and the 12th man goes silent. And then it's not
quiet in there. It can get pretty quiet in there when it's not going their way.
Yeah.
Listen, I think Notre Dame makes the college football playoffs. I think partly because of their schedule. This first game worries me, and the reason it worries me is, one, you got a quarterback that's playing his old coach.
Yeah.
Number 2, the defense is usually ahead of the offense in my experience. And you got the 12th man. This one worries me. I'm not going to bet on it. I have no idea who I think is going to win.
Yeah, I'd probably leave this one.
Scary for Notre Dame, and I think Notre Dame still makes the playoffs even if they lose, in my opinion.
Well,
Well,
I think
I will tell you this,
have
guys.
a lot of tough games on this schedule. I don't think you can afford to lose.
But they get the benefit of the doubt because they're Notre Dame, in my
If they
opinion.
get
Just
to
like
10-2,
Texas A&M is ranked in the country because their name's Texas A&M. Just like Texas is ranked so high because their name's Texas. Just because Miami's ranked in the top 25, even though they haven't done nothing in 10 years.
20 years. Yeah.
Notre
easy.
Dame gets the benefit of the doubt because of the symbol on your hat.
Yeah.
Hey, we got
absolutely
in the chat, and I guess Cowpoke, he always, at least he pays to talk shit. I'll give him that. Y'all need to give Rudy a call. Only player anyone's ever heard of out of that Lucky Charms factory. Come on, he's at least he pays up to talk that smack, So whatever.
You know what, and I tell you what, I love it. I love it when people talk smack because come Saturday night, all that shit talking they're gonna have to
eat it up, buddies.
Eat it up, because I'm gonna tell you, boys, I believe Notre Dame wins this one 24-14. If it's 24-14. I think if it's a tie ball game, it might be 24-21. But I think, and here's my thing, guys. Let's go back a year. Let's look at our game against Ohio State. If we can count to 11 on 2 plays, they don't even score. I mean, we could have put a dead body at defensive tackle, and they wouldn't have scored.
Just needed one more.
And I'm telling you what, and I'm going to tell you what, guys, our offense sucked. Our offensive coordinator sucked.
It was bad.
We were awful. And yet, I'm going to tell you, I can tell you right now, there's a huge difference from our offense a year ago to our offense today. And just like we talk about, guys, iron sharpens iron. Our offense has been going against our defense all fall, spring, and fall. But I'm going to tell you, we're going to be much, much better on offense than we were a year ago. And Mike Elko, and first game, guys, neither team really knows what they have, honestly. Neither team knows what the other opponent has. And I think it's going to come down to game time adjustments. And I'm going to put my money on DeMarco, which I already have put my money on this one. And I feel like I'm going to come home just like I did in the Georgia Tech Florida State game. I'm going to have a lot of money in my back pocket.
There you go. There you go.
Coach, I'm glad you made that point, man, talking about how nobody knows. I'm sitting here trying to look at this Big 12. I ain't got a clue where to start.
No.
My goodness, anyway, I know we ain't going there.
We
got to play him. We got to play him first.
And I'll tell you play him. I love what you talked about with Mike DeMarco. I think that's as big a point as anything. Now, listen, I like Riley Leonard as much as the next guy. What I really like is the fact that you have an offensive coordinator that your 10-year-old grandson can't call what he's about to run before the play ever gets, even really into formation. We knew you could tell what this dude was doing. It was as vanilla as it could be. You haven't had it. Look, you wasted Audric Estime, one of the best running backs in the country last year, because they just didn't get it done. And you had a veteran quarterback that had been able to throw it around and some good receivers that really didn't get much last year. So there was games that, you lost some close ones. You missed out on the playoff, but because you lost some close ones. I think that this year, a tough year is, man, if missing the playoffs is going to take 9-3. 10-2, you're going to get the benefit of the doubt. You're going to get in there. But the truth is
we want to be.
We had a good one here. Hot take: Georgia Tech enters the Notre Dame game 7-0. We could go back and we'll take a look at Georgia Tech. I wouldn't go too crazy with them just yet, because what we saw from Florida State was not great. And look, Georgia Tech can't be that much better than they were a year ago. I'm sorry, I just don't see it yet. You're gonna have to show me a little more than you can beat a team that we didn't think much of coming into the game and going all the way across the pond to play in Ireland. So it's just kind of is what it is. Now, when it comes to, and K. Chris, welcome into the show, sir. But I do believe that you've got a group of receivers now And I think that the guy, I know they brought in a guy in the portal that you really like, but I really think that the guy is going to be second-year player out of Austin Westlake. Greathouse. Yeah, Jaden Greathouse. This guy, look, we watched a lot of film on him whenever we were watching all that film on our boy Darian down in San Antonio. He's a big deal. The guy is big. He's fast. He goes up and gets a lot of those balls. Now you have a quarterback that can get him the football and an offensive coordinator that's got some kind of creativity to get that ball moving a little bit. You're not just going to be leaning on that defense anymore. I like where Notre Dame's at. I expect them to be a playoff team as well. I mean, look, after this one, what's the next big one? I guess it'd be Louisville in week 5, 6, something like that?
It's down the road, yeah. But I tell you another area.
Got a lot of home games.
A lot of home games. The schedule, the schedule fits us. But I'm going to tell you another thing. I've
already liked their physicality. That was the last thing I wanted to say. Was I love the physicality that Notre Dame plays with. This is the kind of team that it can lean on its physical nature to win football games when it has to. So I love that part of it. Go ahead.
I agree. No, what I was going to say, guys, was the other piece to this that we haven't talked. We've talked offense, talked defense, but special teams. Guys, we got a punter in Rendell. I can't think of his first name. He's 6'6", 220 punter from Australia. Guys.
Probably plays Aussie rules football.
And I'm going to tell you, you ought to see that sucker punt the ball. And it's not the normal punt that spirals up and then hits his peak and turns over and comes back down. It's got a funny spin on it. And I tell you what, I think that could cause some issues for the punt returners with the ball spinning in a funny – and I'm telling you guys, he can punt it. And I'm not talking about hit and roll.
Left foot. You're talking the left foot.
He can punt it 60 yards in the air. I watched him on film, and he is just incredible. But the other thing, too, we have Mitch Jeter guys that are kicker guy. And I was going to see here if I had some – I know what it – okay, he God, where did I had written something down, but he hasn't missed inside of 50 yards, I think, in 2 years.
Wow.
Inside of 50. I mean, guys, that gives us an advantage because once we cross the 50, we have a shot at scoring through. And he hasn't missed very many either. Hardly any at all in 2 years. So I think that gives us a huge advantage. Another advantage in the kicking game, Harrison, our punt returner, the kid that came in from Marshall, he was an All-American punt return or kick returner. I'm sorry, a kick returner, and he was one of 5 players that had multiple touchdowns last season, and he was one of 2 players that had a 30 or more yard per return.
Wow.
I think those are huge numbers too that can really, change the game, especially as you guys know, special teams can change that field position.
Important. Sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Coming from the mind of a coach, that sounds like something a coach
sounds about like a coach, don't it? He's breaking it down like he's going to be out there on the sideline this weekend. That sounds just like he did back in his Hobbs days, just like that. How important was the special teams? You guys just got a peek into the locker room right there, a peek into the locker room of Coach Roybal, former head coach of the Hobbs Eagles.
It is true. It's true. It's absolutely true.
But you got to win it, man. You got to win that portion of the game.
Listen,
you're right. As
a fan of a team who had some special teams gaffes in the playoff years, I'm with you. I'm with you. We are okay, but it was good to see that. Good. Hey, Sean D, what's up, my dude? Chris E, welcome into the show. Go Hornets, GA Tech alum. You're new. Good to see you. Let's see who else we got in here that's new. I saw somebody else in here. Thunder O, you sooner. Good to see you, man.
While they're talking,
Keaton,
while you're pulling those up, I wanted to say one thing. Whenever he said that hot take of 7-0, Jason, I think Notre Dame needs Georgia Tech to be 7-0.
They
Absolutely.
That.
Well, because we just lost. We lost what Florida State was going to bring to the table. Now we need Georgia Tech to bring it to the table.
Yes.
Exactly.
And Florida State, they're another one of those teams. They'll get the benefit of the doubt if they can figure it out now with DJ. I'm not a DJ guy, but if they can figure it out, and get going, even if they're I don't know what week they play them, but if they're, if they finish the season strong with 1 or 2 losses and maybe Notre Dame's that second loss, hey, that looks good too.
I'm going to say this about Florida State.
They didn't get the benefit of the doubt last year.
You're right. But they didn't have a quarterback either. They didn't have a quarterback.
I know.
I'm going to tell you this about Florida State real quick. This is where they get to decide. This is where they get to show us that their locker room culture is so great as they say it is. Because we've been telling you it's bullshit since last season. Since the whole look, you can't tell me how great your damn locker room culture is, and then everybody walks out when you got Georgia in the Orange Bowl. You can't tell me that, because if your locker room culture was that good, you would have you could have made your money that day putting up for guys that were where they might be in the draft. You go out there and have a good game against arguably the best team in the country. They lost one game in 30 and back-to-back national champions. You could have went out there and got yourself drafted a little higher that day, and they decided not to. So if your culture is as good as everybody says, then maybe we'll see that the rest of this season. I'm going to tell you, I don't think it is about DJU. I know what people are saying. I'm not going to sit here and argue about the fact that, yes, he has some consistency issues. He needs to be a little better at times. I think he would tell you that. But I don't think it's all about that. Look, if you're that good in the trenches, supposedly, you don't get pushed around by Georgia freaking Tech. I'm sorry, you don't.
Yep, you're right.
So
absolutely.
It just kind of is what it is. Now, I'm not saying that Georgia Tech's god awful. I love their coach. I like his idea of what he's going to do. You could tell he had a game plan. We're going to run the ball. We're going to make you commit to stopping the run, and then we're gonna use a guy in Haynes that I don't know, huge on Haynes King, but he can get it. He played very well when they needed him to the other night, and so hats off to Georgia Tech. But look, man, it's time for them to rally. It's time for them to rally there at Florida State, and I don't want to hear anything about anything else about how great their culture is in Tallahassee until I see them get it done over there. All right, we can move.
Hey, let me respond to Chris E. a little bit here.
Okay.
Any good quarterback will be weary to play for a defensive Notre Dame coach after Sam Hartman going undrafted and getting cut. Well, let me tell you one thing.
It lacks context.
A lot of context.
Yes.
Number one, guys, Sam Hartman was an upgrade over the quarterbacks we had.
No doubt.
Prior to, but and he didn't play up to the standards. But you need to go do some homework, Chrissy, because if you'll look at that quarterback room at this juncture, it's pretty loaded, and all the way into the class of 2026. So you need to do a little homework. Don't just pull stuff out of your ass and figure it out.
Coach is great.
So I just be careful what you say. I mean, back it up with some factual shit.
Hey, I'll tell you what.
Hey, Chris, you know better than that to come in here talking that DJU. There will be no strays for DJU. K. Chris got a timeout. I got K. Chris with a timeout.
Either way, all I'm going to say, any Notre Dame quarterback that plays well on that TV schedule is getting a shot in the league, period.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Look,
absolutely.
I think that they got a better quarterback. But here's the thing. When you get a guy like Mike Denbrock, Jaden Daniels was not throwing the ball very well when he got to LSU. He won the freaking Heisman and had one of the best seasons in the history of college football. Over 3,000 yards, over passing, over 1,000 yards rushing, 55 freaking touchdowns. Maybe little context, bro. The guy that they had to settle on their tight ends coach to be the OC, and they ran his ass out of Morgantown.
Yeah.
Ran him out. Get the F out. They wanted him out. They were going to burn his couches if he didn't.
That was an administrative move, and it was something that was not a good move for Notre Dame and for Marcus. But you know what? I got to hand it to Marcus, guys. He sat in there. He sat in there. You didn't hear him complain. He went with the guy that he had to go with, and knew that he knew it wasn't the best move. But at the end of the day, he survived that. Look what he ended up with, guys. Honestly, you show me a better OC and DC tandem in college football today, and I'll be surprised if you've got one better than Notre Dame.
Okay. Hey, listen, I like Riley Leonard. I don't know if I'm going that far just yet, but I like him. We'll see. I like where they're headed. I've said that I think they're a playoff team. I don't really see them going any worse than 2 losses. And I think that to get to 2 losses, you probably got to lose this week, right?
Yeah.
The only other one I could see them, I mean, I guess Louisville possibly, but I don't really see that. I think that when you got to go to Notre Dame,
not this year, baby.
And plus, they're not sneaking up on your ass this year. So I don't think that really happens. Florida State's going to have to turn it around. They're probably not going to be a ranked team by the time you play them. That's way down the line, right? Yeah. But I would also say that USC, I look, if you can win if you can win this one, you're going to have a chance to go unbeaten.
Yeah, I agree.
You're going to have a chance to go unbeaten. At the worst, if you win this one, I think you go 11-1. I really do. Now, do we got to see them do it? Of course.
Sure.
Of course. And we got to see that offensive line hold up, because that it will. But here's the thing I would say. It's freaking Notre Dame. Their offensive line has been really good for a while. Guys, Oklahoma fans, you don't want to hear the shit that people are saying about OU's offensive line. You can't really say much about Notre Dame's either right now, because that's who they are as well. So I'm not saying that I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that there is a better offensive line coach than Bill Bedenbaugh, but if there is one, he might be in South Bend.
We lost the best one. We got number 2, because the best one we lost last year. He retired.
See, I knew that was coming. All right. Notre Dame's O-line is going to be fine, dude. Look, if a freshman won the job at left tackle
over a senior,
that means he's a baller, right? Yeah. And again, I think that you'll see enough 12 personnel out of what they do with DeMarco. I think you're going to see a lot of 12 personnel. Their tight end room is stacked up. They look really good there. And the tight end is always a quarterback. Look, that's the quarterback's best friend whenever you're not too sure about your receivers. But I think their receivers might be better than they've been in a long time.
A lot better.
What are the odds that they make the playoffs? I mean, that would be, in my mind, that's an easy bet. And I would like to make it before the Texas A&M game.
Well, they come in ranked 7th. They come in ranked 7th. They come in ranked 7th in the country. We'll say Notre Dame odds to make the play. Notre Dame odds, CFP. Let's see. They're only to make the CFP is -160.
Oh, I ain't taking that bet. That ain't.
No, you don't want to touch that one. No. You'd be better off to bet against them.
Yeah.
You get plus 125 on that.
Yeah. Well, hey guys, I am so sorry. I'm gonna have to cut out of here a little early.
Man.
I'm sorry. I know we only got to one game. I was hoping we get to a little bit more, but we're gonna make.
Give us what you think about at least before you run. Miami going into the swamp. Look, to me, this is a game of who's going to be on the hot seat more. Billy's already on the hot seat. But Mario Cristobal, with the guys that they have in that room, they got Cam Moore coming in. They've got a really good running. Hey, look, Mario Cristobal, we know he doesn't have a problem recruiting. Running the game has been an issue. But with this talent coming into the room, if they lose, and I think they're going to lose, is he on the hot seat when he leaves?
I don't know if one game. I mean, I think they're both on the hot seat. I don't think that that's a one game's going to matter there. I do think, however, it ain't going to feel good if they do lose. You know what I'm saying? I think they're going to let him go the season for the most part, right? Unless he just comes out of the gate just at a ridiculously terrible start. But I don't think this is the game that does it, that gets him fired. But it'd be nice if he'd win it.
It would heat that seat up, would it not?
Oh,
I mean, look,
but I think the seat's already
not
hot.
be worth a damn, you know?
I think the seat's already hot.
Well, okay.
I think it's on fire. He could feel it. He can feel it.
Cristobal?
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't think so? What has he done?
I do.
What has he done?
I think it's starting to simmer a little bit. I think it gets really hot if they lose to Florida. And I think Florida wins the game. I think Florida wins the game.
And Florida wins.
Been there?
Huh?
3 years? Has he been longer?
3, I think, yeah.
No, this is his third year. Same as right. And they won 8
He's got
last
his
year.
players.
Our guy Shoddy likes to say, well, they're on the move up. Nah, bro, they're not. Not when you've got the kind of talent that they brought in. And they've got the kind of NIL ability to bring in talent too.
The only move they're on up is the move they're on up every year, which is making the top 25 in week 1. And after that, they're irrelevant. That's the only move up they're on. And they're always on that move. So until he proves it, I don't want to hear it. And listen, if it's my job to hire him, fire him, he's on the hot seat. And he knows that.
Yeah. I think it's fair.
I agree.
I think that's true.
I agree. Well, and I tell you what, guys, it's going to get really hot because Florida's going to beat them.
Florida is going to beat them. This is one of the toughest places to play in the country is the Swamp, man. Nobody goes in there and just wins, even when they're trash.
And they have they're going to have athletes. Florida has athletes.
Absolutely.
And you're in the Swamp, yeah, bro. Good luck. Good luck with that.
Plus, I got my boy Billy G.
Billy Gonzalez. Yeah, that was
all right, guys. I'm getting off here.
All right, man.
Hey,
we appreciate
Jason,
you.
let's jump on and do some Colorado, and let's tell the fans where to find it. I'll talk to y'all later. Nice talking to you, Coach.
They know to find it here, but then we'll be over there too. Yep. All right.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, guys. So let's see. Miami gonna go up in there and win. Okay. Ben G's got Miami. A lot of people do have Miami. A lot of people believe in Miami. They went 7-5. 7-5? I thought they went 8-4, maybe. I think that they need to win 10 games too. I think they need to win the conference championship. Because look, Florida State's down. We see that. We knew they were going to be down. I don't give a shit that everybody seems to be picking Clemson again all of a sudden. When they're not, they didn't do anything to really help their offensive line. They did hire Matt Luke. I'll give him that. He's one of the best offensive line coaches in the country also. This is a problem. Now, Clemson, obviously, we're going to find out a little bit about them because they get Georgia in Atlanta in the Dome this weekend as well. The early game on ESPN, going to be a good one. Now, Brent Key to Florida. That's a good question. Garrett. I don't know that I think he's that good. I do think he's a good coach. I think that Florida will move heaven and earth to get Lane Kiffin if they fire Billy Napier. Now, do I think they fire Billy Napier? I think if he gets 6 wins, no way. Because he's got the toughest schedule I've ever seen in and out of conference. I don't see it. I think that Miami, look, would I pick Miami to win the ACC? Shit, no. No. Now, but I'm not picking Clemson either. I think that this is one of those years that you get a Virginia Tech or NC State. I like NC State. We're going to find out something about them in week 2. Week 2 or 3, I forget. I think it's 2 that they play Tennessee. I think it is. So I think Virginia Tech's got they got a chance. They got a lot of guys coming back. They've got the kind of team that's going to play tough-nosed defense, a quarterback that's pretty electric running the football. You're going to see, I don't know how well he passes it, but I like their coach. But I think NC State is probably my dark horse pick to win it. SMU made me not think so much of them the other night.
Oh.
Trash.
Yeah. They were
trash. And I mean, and to watch them, Nevada just fell apart after getting out there. It was like watching two monkeys try a football, you know?
Yeah.
That was bad.
Exactly.
It was a bad deal, but you just kind of saw it coming apart. You think NC State wins? Oh, here we go. Chicken says exactly. What are we talking exactly? You like Florida has a good starting left. I agree with you, Max. I'm not as down on Florida as a lot of people are. And I also think that they don't want to lose Billy if they don't have to, because first off, they've got the same damn schedule next year.
Yep.
So you're going to have a tough time. You're going to restart in the middle of that. And with the opportunity that DJ Lagway walks out the door too, I don't think that's what they want. Now, I do think that if it starts off bad, that Florida probably goes to Lagway early. You know, if they lose this one and they say they've got, I think week 3, they've got A&M, something like that. So you could have a couple of losses in the first few weeks. You also could start out, I could see them going 5-1 or something like that to start the season too. They do that and maybe win a game or two down the stretch. I could see them. Look, we've already talked about what we think about Texas, but that by the time they lose that game to Georgia and they've already lost 2 other ones, it could be closing time for old Sark and company, and they could lose one down the stretch before they get to A&M. And I think Florida's one of those teams down the stretch. I would also say that you could also be Arkansas, because Arkansas just kind of seems to have their number for whatever reason. But I could definitely see them going in and winning some games that people aren't really expecting them to win. They may not go in and beat Texas. I'm not going to say, I mean, the truth is that's going to be a tough place to go and play for a team like Florida. But I would tell you that there's some games that they could go in and win. And all you really got to do is win 6. You win 6, you're safe if you're Billy. I think so anyway. You know, you start out 5-1, you ought to be able to pull one more out of your hat. And I would hope that maybe even more than that, you know. Coach?
Yeah. No, I'm with you all the way. Not one thing you said I disagree with you on.
Let's see what we got. Jed Fish to Florida. Well,
yeah.
I mean, he just got to Washington. And that's not a great look on coaches. You guys talk about guys that are jumping around in the portal, coaches that jump in 1 year.
Yeah.
That doesn't give anybody a good feeling about hiring them.
No.
I think you want to see him turn it back, because here's the thing. DeBoer left. There wasn't a lot left at Washington. Once he left, a lot of them left with him. And Fish couldn't even get his guys at Arizona to go with him. I don't know, man. I don't think he's the right guy right now. I think whoever your next guy is, then yeah, maybe you can come back around to him later. But I don't think so. I think that they think Lane Kiffin's the guy. And if you've won as many games as he's won at Ole Miss, I think he might be the guy.
Yeah.
You know. Oh Lord. Did you just say this? Oh damn. My guy just
Benji.
The brand has finally returned. F*** your brand.
You gotta be shitting me, man. Really 12-0, bro? You got to be shitting me.
Benji, send me some send me some of what you're drinking. I'll take it.
I know he's on something. He's on something. Yeah. I believe it's how competitive Florida plays in relevance to the final score will be what decides his future. So you're saying like he could still go 5-7 and maybe they don't fire him because they were tight in some of the games. I could see that. And really, if you look at last year, they don't end up at what? I think they were 5-7 last year. Mizzou needed that long kick at the gun to get them, just like they did against K-State. you know, they lost a couple of close ones. I don't remember the Kentucky game, what the final score was there, but it seems like it was close. Kentucky's had their number. They need to win that game.
Yeah, Kentucky has had their number.
That as good as Tennessee is, and they have them at home, they have hell with Florida no matter where they play them. They have hell with Florida no matter where they play them. So there's an opportunity that they could go into Neyland and win that one too. I think they'll probably find a win somewhere that maybe helps him out, right? You go in there and get that win again at Neyland Stadium. That's a good sign. That's a good sign for your athletic director that he can quiet everybody down a little bit and let you stick with it. You've got, you know, arguably the best quarterback, you know, in the last couple of seasons coming in to your program. You want to give him an opportunity. And I don't think Graham Mertz is a bad quarterback. I think it wasn't damn sure his fault what was going on last year. So I like where they are. Okay. Some of these other games that we got this weekend. Man. Penn State. Oh, shit. I should have asked Bryce about that one instead. Okay, but Penn State, West Virginia.
West Virginia Mountaineers.
Yeah, so it's in Morgantown. There's a lot of folks that are, and I'm just, you know, I was watching Ty's show yesterday. I wasn't able to jump in with them, but was watching Ty, and a lot of those guys were giving West Virginia a lot of love. And look, we know that Penn State has struggled offensively, to say the least. I do like their new coordinator. Andy Koltanicki has been a very good offensive coordinator. It was one of those guys that I know that they had some talks about him at Oklahoma before they ended up going with Seth Luttrell, which was a smart move, I believe. But I would tell you that I think this is one of the better offensive coordinators in the country. He should be able to get more out of Drew Aller and right away. And listen, guys, for all the love that West Virginia is getting, and I like Garrett Green a little bit too. They didn't get a win over a team that had a winning record last season. I know they didn't fall into the cellar like we expected them to, and you got to give them love for their fight. But in the end, if you go and look at that last part of that schedule for West Virginia and what can happen in the first part, it's nothing easy. They got some tough road games down the stretch. They got tough games against some of the toughest teams in the Big 12 down the stretch. And look, guys, they're not beating Penn State. It's just not happening. I'm not buying it. I think that this is a double-digit win, even though it's in Morgantown. Coach, tell me.
No, sir. West Virginia is going to pull.
Tell me why. Tell me why.
I tell you what has Penn State done? Tell me that.
They've won 10 games a year for about 5 years in a row. They just the only teams they don't beat is Michigan and Ohio State.
And this year, West Virginia. I tell you what, they do not impress me. Again, they win 10 games every season.
Actually, 11 games this season.
Well, damn, better than I thought. But
they're pretty good, man. They're pretty good.
And I don't disagree with that. They're a good football team. But I tell you what, I think people are sleeping on West Virginia. And I think, excuse me, if they don't win it, I think it's going to be a hell of a ball game. I really do.
Again, you got to go back.
I'm going to pull
last year. I mean, they started off hot. They played I thought they played really well in Happy Valley last year, right?
Yeah.
Played really well. But they weren't. No. They didn't win it. I mean, they gave them a run, and we know that offense wasn't good at Penn State. I think they get better, but I tell you, I don't. When you go back and look on it, none of those wins that they got were over winning teams.
Right.
That's all.
I don't know. There's something about Penn State, kind of like I was with Baylor a couple years ago. There's just something that tells me, and I'm not sure what it is. Just like I told you guys when I was saying Baylor was going down the drain, and obviously that has occurred. But I just feel the same about Penn State. Not quite as strong as I did with Baylor, but there's something there, and I can't quite put my finger on it, but there's something there that things just don't quite get over the hump.
Yeah.
And I think it might be their head coach.
Well, listen, I got to kind of agree with you there. And there's been a lot of weird things that they've been talking about with Franklin over the offseason. You know, they got sued by the former trainer that he fired, and apparently he fired because he wasn't pushing guys back in early enough for him. And so I think it lost him a lot of money. But listen, I would go back to it. Neil Brown's a good coach, man. He's a good coach, and I think Purple's. I think they could win by a lot, and then they're going to come to Pitt and lose by 3. Woo, buddy. Now the backyard brawl is going to be a tough one, right? That's going to be one of them tough ones that you're going to have to wait and see. Coach I says, what do you say? I was talking about. I think it's West Virginia that didn't have a win over a winning team last year. In the end. And it seemed like the games that they had a chance to stay in it because they did have some wins, but then the teams, by the time it was all over with, they also had some losses that they shouldn't have had. They had that Houston game in the palm of their hands and threw that one away. There was a lot of stuff that you saw out of him. Now, I do like Neil Brown. I think he's a better coach than what people give him credit for. And I think that they've kind of gotten their NIL in place. I don't think that Garrett Green's as good as everybody thinks he is. I don't. I just don't like him that much. I think they have a younger kid. I think his name is Nico too or something like that. He's a stud from what I could tell. He's a stud. Garrett runs the ball better than he throws it. And I don't think that you can win in the Big 12 without being able to throw the football. I just don't think you can. So we'll wait and see. But that was one of those games. I think and we don't have to talk about that one forever. We already talked Notre Dame. Let's see. Florida State. I didn't know they had to come back and not even have a bye week, but they are home to Boston College, who almost came back and beat them last year in Boston College. That could be upset alert for them.
Well, and Jason, yeah. I tell you, I believe it is upset alert because I'm going to tell you,
scary, right?
I was in Ireland a year ago when Notre Dame played, and I'm going to tell you, the jet lag it's real, guys. And as a player coming back from that, and I'm going to tell you, I think it affected Notre Dame throughout the season.
Right.
And I tell you, I truly think it caught up with us in the Louisville game. Mm-hmm. I think that from that first ball game, it caught up to us. And I think that this could be something to Boston College, possibly beating Florida State.
Mm-hmm. Sooner Cherry Bear with a super sticker. Didn't add anything to it, but thank you for the super sticker there, Cherry Bear. Good to see you back in here. Let's see what else we got. What's the score prediction? This is the one we should have probably talked about. Bryce is going to be I'm going to actually be recording a preview with Bryce on this one coming up. I don't hate this prediction. North Dakota State. Now they did lose their head coach, Matt Ince. He's now I think he's the replacement for Lincoln Riley that they've got hired there at USC. But this is a good program. But they're on the road here. As much as I think that this is a good program, I don't think they win here. I think it could be a good game, though. But I think that Shedeur Sanders is one of the best quarterbacks in the country, and we need to act accordingly. He's going to win this game. Now, when we start talking about a couple weeks, when they play Nebraska, might get a different story. I think they flip it on them from what happened last year, and Nebraska does it. I think Colorado's a better football team than they were a year ago.
Well, they better be.
They better be. But I see them winning 6 or 8 games. Look, man. We know in college football you can cover up a lot with good quarterback play, and all you really needed to get a little better quarterback play was a little better protection. They had 55 sacks last year, 56 sacks, something like that. He only threw 3 interceptions all season. He had 27 touchdowns. Now, did he hold the ball a little much sometimes? He did. But that didn't change the fact that O-line was trash. So Absolutely. We kind of have to see a little more out of that O-line. We got to see more out of the defense. Now, they did pick up a couple of really big time. You listen to JJ, some defensive tackles out of Pitt that were kind of coming around, and they were upset about losing them. So look, I mean, if you're a little better here and there, I don't see them really. I'm not going to say they're going to compete to win or be in the conference championship game in the Big 12 this year. What I think they're going to do is they're going to screw it up for some other teams. They're going to win a couple of games that maybe you don't expect them to win. They were close to Arizona. They were close to Utah last year. Now, of course, Utah didn't have Cam Rising. How long does Cam Rising hang around? We'll see. I hope that he stays healthy. If he does, that's a hell of a football team right there. And I believe in Coach Witt. But I'll tell you what, I've been saying this. I think that this is K-State. I think if K-State doesn't win it, my dark horse to win it is Iowa State. I like Rocco Beck. I love the defense that they play there, and they might have the best receiving tandem in the Big 12. And then my second dark horse would be UCF, and I don't even know how much of a dark horse they are. KJ Jefferson goes over there. Gus Malzahn's going to run a system that's going to probably put him in a good position. They built up their depth there. UCF's about to be a problem in that conference.
I agree.
So we'll see kind of what happens with that one. Now, Nico. Yeah, it's Llama Lover. I don't know what that means. That's not the one we're talking about anyways. Freaking Boomer 129. Sorry, dog. Okay. They want to know if you actually believe that they're going to get to the playoffs. I think they better. I think that if they don't get to the playoffs with this schedule, then Marcus Freeman's probably in a little bit of trouble, isn't he?
Well, he'll be on the hot seat. He won't be in trouble, but he would be on the hot seat. But guys, I'm going to tell you what. If I'll take any bets.
Oh my God, Bevo.
I'll take any bets.
You got to get another timeout for this one, knucklehead.
I'll take any bets from any of y'all saying if you think they don't get in the playoffs, I'll take they do, and we'll be on. I'll fund it all.
I think I saw my mom say hello, and she was saying she was glad you were feeling better there, Coach.
No, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, COVID was kicking my butt.
It was knocking you on your ass, huh?
You can tell I'm still hacking and coughing.
Yeah, dude.
It's hard on old people.
I love it. I love the old Bevo in here talking about Shedeur being trash. I'd like Texas a lot more if Shedeur played for him than I do with yours. I'll tell you that much.
I wouldn't like Texas.
You know shit about football.
I wouldn't like Texas anymore if he played for him, and not because of Shedeur. I'm
saying they would be better with him than they are with Quinn. You know, I mean,
ain't no doubt, bro.
It's not even kind of close, guys.
No, not even close. They might win with him.
Yeah, guys, look, we can move. We can keep moving the goalposts with CU. I'm not going to sit here and do this with you guys on this live stream. Y'all can move the goalposts all you want to. They had a 400% improvement from the year before they got there. Okay, if they do that again and win 8 games, 6 games, even 6 games, and make it, they're still on track to what they're supposed to do. Look, it was a dumpster fire there, So it is what it is. All right. Hey, there's our boy Timothy Green. Where you been?
Timothy.
You been in the hospital?
The heck?
Dang, man. Well, hey, I hope you're feeling better. You doing okay?
Absolutely.
Man, I hope I didn't just give you another dizzy spell talking shit. Damn it. They can't figure it out. I don't know what's going to happen, but good luck in your college football season. Hey, love you too, man. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, man. Love you, dude.
Get back in here, my man. We'll see you soon.
Good luck. Thanks, Garrett.
Mom, mother, and coach. Eat your chicken soup, coach. Hey, Sooner in Texas, you messing with my mom? You don't What's good? Hey, Ryan Lemon in here. Good to see Ryan Lemon. Will Dion be the coach in 2029 when FSU plays them at home? Well, shit, man, that's a long ways away. That's 5 years.
No.
I don't
That's
know.
a simple answer.
That's I don't know, man. We'll see. I think that here's the thing. I think that the chances of that are pretty slim. I think that even because if let's say he turns the program around, the program around, he gets another job.
Yeah. Either way, he's gone.
Yeah, he's on a 5-year deal right now. So glad to see Jaden Jackson starting Friday night. Look, to be a freshman starting in an interior defensive line position means that you are that dude. Because
Absolutely.
he's starting over a senior as well.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, you are that dude. Right. People forget that CU only had like 3 wins total in the last 2 seasons before Prime got there. Yep, that's right.
I don't forget that.
Yeah, and look, I'm not even telling you that I think that they're doing everything the right way. Just so you understand me, I'm not telling you I think that they're doing everything the right way. I think that they need to be a little less loud, and because you're courting disaster. I mean, and if you're already struggling as it is, you can make it harder on yourself. The Oregon game, they got bitch slapped because they talked too much. And not to mention, they just weren't as good. But you can't go out there and disrespect their field and their logos and all that stuff and be jabbering the whole way in.
No.
And then just, lay an egg like they did. I think that there was a lot of things that were going on, but I do think CU's a better football team than they were a year ago. I do think they're a better football team than they were a year ago.
It should be. Yeah.
Oof, Lynn, did you say broke your back? And oof, damn. That's a little much, man. Damn. Yeah, Oregon did smack him around. Stoney not a transfer. It's only one. He's one down on the depth chart. It's one down. He's in the top, right around the area he needs to be, or in the top 3 anyway. I could go and look at it in a minute. I'm happy about where they're at. And it's
called the rotation.
The depth is what's important here. The depth is what's important. Now, it signifies something when you are number one because you're a freshman. Because that's a signal. But I tell you, Stoney's been saying for weeks that he's the best he's ever seen. Going to camps and everything else. He thinks he's the best player he's ever played with. Period. We've heard it from Dominic Williams, who is a freshman All-American, that they are on another level, both of them. We've heard it from Teddy Lehman, who's been at a lot of practices. They're on another level. These guys are in that rotation of 6, 7 guys because they're on another level. They wouldn't be if not. They wouldn't be if not. And whether you start or don't start, I think that in Stoney, I think the expectation has been for him to work his way into a bigger part of that rotation later on in the season. You got to have the depth, though, either way. It just doesn't matter. You got to have the depth either way. And look, man, he's going to get his spot. Anybody who's saying that that's real is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 5th true freshman ever to start at defensive tackle at Oklahoma. This is not something that happens very much. I mean, it just don't happen.
But I'm going to say this, Jason. I think as we're watching college football, I think we're starting to see a lot more freshmen come in and start than previously. And I think it's a tribute to the high school programs that are getting better, and it's coming from facilities. It's coming from coaches. But yeah, IMG. Oh, yeah.
And they both went to IMG. Jaden and Stoney were both IMG guys. They played next to each other last year.
It ought to be OMG. That's what it ought to be, OMG.
No doubt.
Oh, my God. Yeah, wow.
Yep.
But I'm seeing a lot more players playing as freshmen that can compete.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. You got the depth on the O-line and D-line to make the playoffs, and especially to win. You have to have it. You got to have it both ways. The trenches in the SEC, we know that the trenches is where you start. Now, the questions around Norman have been about the offensive line because it's a new line. Look, Jacob Sexton's coming back. They moved him into guard because he can play guard. it's clear that, it was more about, last year at USC with Michael Tarquin, it was more about the yoga instructor and their not so good offensive line coach and him not having the weight that he needed to have. That was the problem, because he's been unbelievable since he got to OU. I like their line there. I guess some of the concern, now we did talk about a little bit before that, DeMarco Murray going to sit out this first game for some impermissible phone calls from 2021 to 23 that should have been on the waiver for COVID, something like that. I got to tell you, I find it odd that you come in and swipe at DeMarco Murray right now when and every time they do something, it seems like it's not a real punishment, like say guys have been. That D-line is all that, Bevo. It is what it is. But I would tell you that you talk about this kind of stuff and where they are, but I would tell you that they're ready to go. They're going to be fine there.
NCAA sucks.
The NCAA, yes. Trash. Look, I mean, they waited until Harbaugh's been freaking with the Chargers for what, 4 or 5 months now, and they announced this 4-year show cause thing or whatever.
That was all show. That was all show.
It's all bullshit.
If Harbaugh stays there, they don't do shit. Harbaugh leaves, so that's their, we as the NCAA, we're dropping the hammer. They can't. They don't even have a damn hammer to drop.
No, they're not going to do shit. And that's the whole thing. I think that PG said it on his show earlier today. He goes, I think they could send DeMarco out to the sideline and the NCAA wouldn't do shit about it. What are they going to do?
I agree.
Nobody in the conference would care.
And even if they did, it'd be 2 seasons before they did anything.
Yeah. I'm getting sick of this guy. Okay, if only DeMarco could leave more ladies for the rest of us. Yeah, well, he was that guy. He was that guy.
Hey, I don't need a lady, brother.
I don't understand the whole deal. And they were talking about BV catching some strays off of it, and it was mostly all the stuff that they caught onto. They self-reported it in 2023 after Coach Venables was here, but they were basically having to explain it away like it was on him, and this was under the Riley regime.
Hey, Jason,
why would they even think about that? Lincoln Riley, man. Go ahead, Coach.
No, I was going to ask you, isn't there supposed to be something coming out on Connor Stallions? And I thought I heard something that they were going to have a documentary or something on him. And he was actually going to call out some other coaches that he knew.
Well, I know that the NCAA announced some stuff that they found. And so Sharon Moore when all that stuff came out, Sharon had erased some text messages or whatever that were coming there. So, I mean, it doesn't look good.
But they're talking about other teams. They're saying that there's other teams
that were
doing the same thing.
Michigan sideline photos for the first time. Oh, there's a story in the Athletic talking about it. He addressed it on Tuesday morning. Athletic obtained more photos of a person who looked similar to Stallions. Let's see what he said. I don't even think the guy looks like me. He's saying it's not him.
Here it is.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. Yeah, that's what it's saying here.
Okay.
In the documentary, Stallions has presented a picture of the sideline figure. I don't even think this guy looks like me, he says after a laugh. I don't recall attending a specific game there. No, he says. Wow.
But I would think they'd have to be. I mean,
Dave Portnoy is saying that Connor told him that it was him there.
Right.
He's not going to admit to it. Why would he admit to the team?
No, why would he? Yeah.
If I'm him, I'm double burning the NCAA right now too. Okay.
But I haven't watched the documentary. I'll surely go into and watch it. But I know that they were talking about that he was going to name other schools and coaches that were doing the same thing. And you know, golly, I would think Netflix better be really careful about that, because hell, they can get sued. They can get sued for a lot of money if it's not factual. It's not factual.
Well, no, I mean they didn't do anything. And now Portnoy said what he said, but here's the thing that happens with that. The unfactual stuff. Now, what happens, coach, is you start suing for libel. It really opens you up, because now we can go back and look at all kinds of shit. And you have to, if you're suing somebody else for libel, we get to go and find out everything. You have to disclose all kinds of shit that you probably don't want disclosed with it. So in order for Connor Stallions to do that, or Michigan to do that, then they're going to really open up.
They're opening up the door.
Yeah. This is why almost never do those things go through. Because where there's smoke, there's at least a little fire usually, and it could turn into a hell of a lot more. If you go for a libel lawsuit like that, defamation, there's got to be a lot there, and you better be squeaky ass clean, because they're gonna go find it now.
Yeah.
And we know he's not squeaky clean. The guy, look, they used his own freaking credit card or PayPal or whatever the shit for plane tickets and tickets to games. They knew exactly who was in those seats. They took pictures of them taking pictures. He did the shit. And that is Connor Stallions in those pictures. I mean, come on. It's him.
Yeah. No doubt.
It is what it is. For being a former Marine, he was not very stealthy about about what he was doing. Yeah, I know what defamation of character is, brother, but you got to be able to prove that you're innocent, and that there's it's a lot to prove, bro. It's a lot to prove. And the truth is, there's a lot of shit out there that says you're screwed if you're him. And he was laughing about it. I mean, it didn't sound like it was. They did a lot of shit, man. Yeah. Look, so did Ohio State, though. So did Ohio State, Penn State, and I want to say, forget who it was now, but there was a third team in there that they were sharing the signs of Michigan as well. So they knew about it for 3 years. And I don't want to hear shit about the from Ohio State talking about them stealing signs, because you knew about that shit long before the game last year. So if you hadn't changed your signals by now and you've known about it for the last 3 years, boo freaking who? You know? So dumb. Shawty, what's up, my dude? Yeah, they did their due job. Come on now. Yeah. And here's the other thing about it. If you're Connor Stallions and you do that, you got to be able to wait out the big money folks on that, because they'll just drag that shit along for a long time.
They'll drag you.
Run your ass right out of money.
Yep.
To sue them anymore. They'll just drag it along. What grunt was ever stealthy? Hey man, I'm not trying to get there. I was just saying it wasn't stealthy for sure. He could have been a freaking. I'll tell you which guys are stealthy though. The Marines right now, the recon guys. They're ghosts. Bye, Bevo. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you.
Bevo.
Different position. Too many talents in Texas. Yeah. Nah, they're not getting it done. They're not getting it done All right. Connor needs to dress like a long-haired liberal hippie. Oh, come on, bro. Don't go there. We don't do politics in here. Don't do it. All right. Let me check this real quick. Where are we at in our guys? We've had over. Really? We've had 400 plus over 400 people. We've got. Where's the likes at? Where the hell are the likes at? Just 33 likes for 400. Come on now, folks. Help me out here.
Come on.
We got another one for us, I guess. Oh, yeah. 37, 35 pokes last Saturday night. Cowpoke Ranch, you're the one I think is going to lose this week to a FCS team. The back-to-back national champions.
Yeah.
South Dakota State. Glad you brought that up, Cowpoke. Thank you for the $5 super chat. You're fucked. Last year they lost to South Alabama at home big. This year it'll be another, but this year it'll be a FCS champion. They're got on a 29-game win streak. This is a real deal football team, real deal coach. They're moving in that direction. I think that this is the game. I'm going to tell you now. I would not be surprised at all. I'm not going to predict it. I would not be surprised at all if Oklahoma State started off 1-4. Because next week they host Arkansas, Bobby Petrino. And if you get in a shootout, do you trust Alan Bowman in a shootout? I don't. I would trust Petrino and the boys a little bit more. Super sticker, another one from Cherry Bear. Thank you, my man. Appreciate you.
Cherry Bear, you're all over it tonight, brother.
Yeah, man, he's our guy. I'm telling you, I believe that this is coming. They're going to lose this one. Then I forget who their third game is against. I think it's a winner for Oklahoma State. But then they open conference play at home against Utah and then on the road at K-State. 1-4, staring them right in the face.
Damn, that made me sad.
Wasn't it, though?
Hey, guys, y'all do some more super chats.
That made me sad.
Y'all need to do some more super chats. I need to go buy some cough medicine.
Coach, we're going to get you out of here, man. And I'll let you get out of here, too, anyway. But we want to go over a couple more. What's going to happen?
No, I'm teasing.
Look, the Oklahoma State game, though, I think that they lose this one. I'm not saying that it's a for sure thing, but look, man, you slip up in this game against South Dakota State, they're well coached. They're going to hit you and play hard. This is a big game, man.
Oh, you know what? I'd be pissed off at my athletic director for scheduling that.
Yeah. I mean, it's not good.
Thank you, chicken.
Bowman's old enough that he reads the night the night before Christmas. Oh, he's got more gray in his beard than I do.
Oh,
I think you might be right there, chicken.
Chicken. That's hilarious.
Temple won't announce their starting quarterback until game day. What do you think? This is gamesmanship there, bloody? I wouldn't be too concerned about Temple. Not too concerned about the fact that DeMarco's going to be on the sideline. I think it's a bunch of horse shit, but if you're going to have to go through it, go ahead and go through it now. It's Temple, no big deal. Look, I'm pretty sure that they can run the little they can run their rotation there without him. He'll be all right. He can coach up till game day anyway. Eat your chicken soup, coach. Damn it.
Absolutely, baby.
So Temple is bad. They haven't been good in a long time. Since Matt Rule was there, they haven't been good. And I think that's when they scheduled this game, was back when Matt Rule was still the coach there. So, it is what it is.
I'm having Aggie soup this week.
Coach, he
Aggie
said get you an Irish coffee instead.
Oh, man, chicken, you're a good hombre.
Got from chicken. Chicken, you are the man. We appreciate you, my brother.
Irish coffee it is.
No doubt. Jason could coach OU through their first 2 games. I could coach them. I could. But not as good as the guys that they are. But look, in the end, you're right. When they made the move to the SEC, they had Georgia's schedule for this year in it, along with last year, and they had to change it because of the SEC move. They are playing Michigan next year in the regular season, in the pre-conference schedule as well. Oh, you don't run from nobody. They're not like your boys there at SC trying to get out of every damn good game they can possibly get out of. That's not, little ones bunch up, big ones line up, baby. Here we go.
I love it.
So what do we got here? But no, I might be able to coach them through it. It is what it is. Oh, nobody wants to know what's an Aggie soup.
I just answered him.
Yeah. You answered him?
Yeah,
Bevo,
I think so.
Bevo G, Bevo Benji, Bevo and Aggie soup. Oof. Lots of sheep and things they put in there. Ooh, I don't know that shit, bruh. Trojan fight. LSU's 0-4 in season openers. Don't let them beat y'all. That's a ball game too. That's the other one. There's two more games we really got to talk about. Let's talk about Clemson, Georgia real quick first. Then we'll get to the last one. We'll make that one it. We got another 5-10 minutes to go at the most. All right. Clemson in Atlanta to take on Georgia, number one. Look, I don't think it's particularly close. I know that
Georgia's pissed off.
Georgia's a little pissed off, and they're just better.
Yeah.
They're just fucking better.
Well, guys, Clemson is on a downhill trajectory. I still now listen. Now listen. I did think that they could still win their conference, but they're Georgia guys better get the hell out of the way if you're playing Georgia, because they are pissed off after last season, and it's fixing to show. I'm telling you.
Hey, I mean, you don't even have to pay for this. You don't even have to pay for these kind of comments, brother.
I love it. That's a free one.
Yeah, I'd give you a freebie for that one, but
The brand has finally returned. Fuck your brand.
Gotta love it. Gotta
yeah,
boy,
I don't
Gary.
think it's really close. Yeah, Shotty says 31-17 UGA. Yeah. Oh, see you later, legend. Good to see you, man.
Later, legend. Oh, I agree, Shotty.
Yeah,
I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure it's going to be
probably
that close, to be honest.
Yeah, I think they take them out behind the school, out behind the woodshed. Out behind the woodshed is Bloody Guns, we call it.
As I said years ago, I was sitting in a pancake house, and little kid was crying, and his grandpa was sitting there. He said, "Boy, I'm gonna take you out behind the IHOP. I'm gonna whoop your ass." And that's exactly what's fixing to happen. Georgia's fixing to take them out behind the bar and whoop their ass.
Right on.
So
I don't know where this all came from, Coach, but it's weird. We can continue. No, I don't think it's. Look, Carson Beck's coming back. You've got. I think that K Klubnik's good. I think that Clemson's probably better than most of the teams in the ACC. I still don't think they're getting better. I think that they're getting worse, and you're going up against the number one team in the country. I don't think it's particularly hard to call this one.
No,
it's just really not. I like K. I like some of the receivers they added, but if you're really going to depend on freshman wide receivers against Georgia, good luck. Good luck. It is what it is. Kyle Dupuis says West Virginia with the upset. Negative. Not according to me, but Coach says yes. So it depends on who you're asking there, Kai.
Yes, sir.
Open a whole can of whoop.
I'm with the Mountaineers, brother.
Dabo doing all the scheming he can do for this game. You don't think it's going to be clean, you said, and it's going to be all the scheming he could get. Listen, man,
good luck.
Yeah, I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters.
I know you got to play it, but this one's it's already almost over.
I don't think you could. Yeah, I think even the second and third string is going to be tough to score against for Temple. Look, man, if they were to get to 10, and it's probably some garbage time stuff, but I'd probably see this game being pretty similar to that Arkansas State game last year, something like that. We'll see. I don't think it really matters much. I think you should be seeing your backup quarterback really early in this one. Just my feelings on it. This year that Dave A pulls in our brows and burns Baylor around. Oh, I don't believe that's the case.
Yeah, don't even use Art Browse and Aranda in the same sentence. Oh,
not the same. Not the same.
Oh.
One was a good head coach. One was a good coordinator. And I like Dave as a man. I think he's cool. He's a little weird, but he's cool. And he's a hell of a defensive coach.
He's weird as hell.
I think those kids don't know what the hell to do with him when they get to talking to him. And it was, I mean, we struggled. At Big 12 Media Days, we struggled to understand what he was talking about up there on the stage.
I was just fixing to say, I didn't know what the hell he was saying. I'm not sure he did.
Right. But I like Dave, though. I think he's a good coach. I think he's a good defensive coach. I just don't think that he connects so much with these kids. I think it's tough for him to connect because his personality is a little odd and it's also kind of bland. I think he's a great guy. I think he's a really good guy. I think he's a really good guy. I think that he's probably kind of dude that do anything for you, right? Maybe they might even love him.
Hey, I tell you how bland he is. At media days, after I got through listening to him talk, I had to go take a whiz. I went to the pisser. I was standing there taking a whiz, and I was talking to the wall, and I was having a hell of a lot better conversation with the wall than I could have had with him.
Huh. To be great is to be misunderstood, says Shotty.
Well, then he's great, Shotty. Then he's great, Shotty. Because he's damn sure misunderstood.
That's deep. That's deep. All right. All right. Let's get into this last one, and we're done. What is the huge thing we're talking about here, Stephen G? They changed for the third, fourth quarter for fandom experience. What man, probably I've seen it. I don't know that we've talked about it so much, but what are we talking about? You'll give it to me. We'll talk about it at the end. All right. Sunday, the last thing there for the week will be in Vegas. Kind of hoping maybe I get there. I'm kind of hoping I get to Vegas this weekend. I'd like to see this football game. I'm going to watch it either way. I kind of like to be there for this one. LSU, USC, first to 50 wins. What do you got, Coach?
LSU, baby. LSU. You know what? I tell you, I know people keep talking about Lincoln Riley got a new defense coordinator, and you know what? I think he got him a really good defense coordinator.
I did too.
But
he's a defensive guy too. Matt Ince is a defensive.
But as the merry-go-round spins, it keeps getting faster and faster, and it just keeps throwing off defensive coordinators. They just keep flying off of that damn thing, and it's going to happen again because Lincoln Riley does not play complimentary football, and this defense coordinator isn't going to make. He might make a little difference, but at the end of the day, Lincoln Riley continues to shoot himself in the foot, and it will end up costing him his job.
Hey, listen, I think that it's clear that I think the Matt Ince hire was a signal that you better get your shit together, buddy. Because, and I don't know, here's the problem. Here's the biggest problem is that the guys they brought in the portal for depth left in the spring portal. So they brought in guys after the season in the portal. They left in the spring portal because they weren't coughing up the NIL money. And the NIL money has something to do with it. But then they've been losing recruits on the high school end. What the shit are they doing in Georgia recruiting when they can't recruit Crenshaw High School or Modern Day? What the fuck? You know what I mean? It's weird to me. You have to win your state, particularly if it's California and you're USC. He's in deep shit. This TK thing, we're going to get to that. I love this. We can close with that story. I'll retell it. I don't know if everybody heard it in here or not.
Oh, sorry.
The complimentary football fairies. I think it's important. It's important. Hey, look, listen, bud. Trojan Fight, you know that we've seen this movie a few times. And I do think I think you've got a great defensive staff. I do. They did what they did at UCLA, and probably USCJ told me that it was with less depth than what they've got at SC. Now, I don't know how much I believe USCJ on that. And I love USCJ, but I'm going to have to see that first.
But Trojan Fight, you don't believe in complimentary football? Is my question to you. Yes or no?
Real quick, he was laughing. There's a super chat from Stink Cat, $20. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
Thank you, buddy. You're a good hombre.
And he was laughing it away. Yeah, look.
Okay.
SC better than LSU, Benji says. Oh, man. How do you figure? Here's the thing I would tell you about you. And I said this, we were talking about this today. I actually talked to you, CJ, today. And I'll tell you this. LSU is kind of, you don't really know what to say about them because we don't know what they've got. And it's just like they lost Malik Neighbors and they lost the other kid there that were first round draft picks as receivers. Of course, they lost Jaden Daniels. We understand that. I don't hate Nussmeier as a guy coming in, and I'm not really worried about their their receiver production because they just walk guys in from the swamp and they go out there and ball out. Justin Jefferson was a 2-star. I would also say the same thing about secondary guys for the most part. Now, they do have new coaching staff in there for the entirety of the defense, but I think where they hurt themselves was not being able to bolster that D-line. I don't know that they're better than USC on the D-line, and that's a problem. Dominic McKinley may have to be, as a true freshman, he better be ready to go like we've seen from Jaden Jackson there at Oklahoma. I don't know that that's the case, and I like McKinley. I think he's a hell of a player. He's a 5-star guy. There's a reason why he was. But if you've got to depend on that, they don't have a great rotation, and they were historically bad on defense a year ago. Historically bad. I've heard people talking about Harold Perkins still not going to be the defensive end, playing from the edge. They're talking about moving him to middle linebacker. What are we talking about? The guy had 12 or 13 sacks as a true freshman, and they've not put him back as a defensive end? What are you doing? That ought to get your ass fired on its own. Shouldn't it? The point I'm making is if they're not considerably better on defense, and I don't know that they will be, what's going to happen if they're not as good on offense? I don't know how they can be.
No.
Coach, this is like one of those things. You hate one, you hate the other. I get it.
I hate both LSU and I hate them both. But I tell you what, if you tell me to pick between BK and Lincoln Riley,
some of the same guys. One of those guys got arrested and is not with the team right now.
Exactly. But I just Lincoln Riley defenses always suck. I think LSU, their defense was not good, but they will be better.
Will they?
And they will be better than USC. Not better than they were last year. I'm saying they're going to be better than USC.
Are you new to college football? Because if you're asking about 2019 LSU and if they played complimentary football, what the hell's the matter with you?
Well, we're not. What was that damn show?
They were one of the best defenses. They had one of the top defenses in the country. Yeah, they played complimentary football.
They play more complimentary football than Lincoln Riley. I mean, Trojan fight. If the bottom line is
they beat the brakes off of Lincoln Riley that year, I'll tell you that.
Trojan, you got to face the facts. Lincoln Riley is offense, and we have a defense. That's just a fact. I mean, it doesn't have to be because I don't like USC, which I hate USC just the way you hate Notre Dame. But at the end of the day, the fact is, and the story doesn't lie. The story doesn't change from year to year. Lincoln Riley does the same shit all the time, and it always comes down to a shootout, and he doesn't have a defense that can stop anybody.
Chicken says Tebow doesn't lose game one. Facts.
Well, it's about to happen this year.
Usually his game one, though, Chicken, is against who? I mean,
Florida
last
A&M.
year, last year he played San Jose State, and they struggled a bit. This isn't San Jose State. I think the SC possibly wins a lot of games. I think they could. I honestly think they go 8-4 though again, maybe 7-5 again. That's where I'm at. BK definitely loses game ones though. I'll give you that part.
Yeah.
I'll give you that part. Maybe the antidote is Lincoln Riley's trash defenses. And they still hey, listen, the yoga instructor is still employed there. He's still employed there. Stick's not a stick anymore. Shout out to Tim Prangley. Shout out to Tim Prangley. Stick's not a stick anymore. I mean, who cares if he's lost one or not? Go back and look at who he's played against. When he first got there, didn't they play Rice or some shit? I'm not talking about the same thing.
Yeah. You're trying to compare apples to oranges.
You know, the only play that USC can run to gain any yards is the Oklahoma GT. McKinley's not ready. Their own mods were saying it wasn't fair that they have to depend on him out of the gate. I agree. I agree with that.
I can tell you, Trojan Fight, nobody dislikes Brian Kelly.
I don't know that I don't think it's less. I think he's rooting for the plane to go down and or for both of them to lose. I think the dogfight gets, they both hit each other with a missile.
Exactly. I can't stand either one of them.
Yeah, I think so too. Is what it is. But okay, so here's what I was saying. Keno, good statement. LSU definitely keeps it in state. And this is why I think it's an unknown. I don't think that they're shitty. I think that it's an unknown what they are.
Yeah.
Because I would tell you that I don't right now, I'm picking if Oklahoma's going to have 3 losses, I think one of them is probably at LSU. And I don't even know that it matters how good they are. But it almost, if they're as good as a lot of people think they might be. And here's the thing. You've got a lot of mixed feelings about it. You got some people that think that they're ready to go out there and compete for the national championship. I'm not one of those people, but I do think that you may just not know the dude. K. Chris said that one of the last times that we talked about this stuff. You just may not know who the hell it is that's coming in to be a receiver. Again, Justin Jefferson was a 2-star. So it is what it is.
Hey, Trojan Fight.
Yeah.
Trojan Fight, I got a hell of a deal for you.
You guys are counting on D'Anton Lynn quite a bit there, too, there, Trojan Fight. Go ahead.
Trojan Fight, I got a hell of a deal for you. I'll take LSU for 100. Put your money where your mouth is, brother.
Okay. Well, there it is. There it is. Who do you guys have in this game? Since you're sitting here telling us all about it, Trojan Fight, take the bet. Everybody else give us. Oh, all right, Bevo. You're gone again. This is stupid. This is a stupid comment. LSU's defense wasn't great that year. Yes, it was. That is exactly why Dave Aranda got a job off of that year. A head coaching job. Stop saying stupid stuff. You got to be smarter to come in here. Folks. I like their quarterback. I don't know that he's the next Joe Burrow. That's a lot of shit to say. That's a strong statement. Jaden Daniels actually had better numbers than Burrow did that year, by the way. So to expect that to be the same is tough. Tough. Trojan Fight. Just freaking make the bet or hush. I'm not saying it's better. I'm saying they have an opportunity. We don't know what they are. I said I don't know what they are. But you know what? You know what basis I'll give it? SEC. That's enough for me. This is the SEC. They're probably better. I hate it. Only big game he ever won was against Ohio State, and that was a down year for Ohio State, to be quite honest with you.
Yep. Exactly.
But it was winning in the shoe. It was a big game, big win. Want them both to lose. I can see that. Yeah, I got LSU in this one. Who you guys going with? Give me a winner. Give me a winner. Let's go. Talking all that shit. Give me a winner.
Give me a bet.
Okay. Stephen G's got SC. All right. Okay. For the pick'em series, you need them to win. Oh, already you need a win, Stephen G? Damn. Okay. Whatever, bro. Silly talk. You Texas fans don't know shit. You were talking about that they didn't have a great defense, because they did. They're hyping him up like he is. Vanderbilt, they're hyping him up like he is. Yeah. I mean, look, I like him. I like Nussmeier. I don't think he's bad. Look, if we're saying that they have to be the same as last year, I think that's going to be tough. Because you don't, I mean, look, I believe that their receivers will probably be fine. They do have a great offensive line. We know that. Joe Moore, they're talking about a Joe Moore line there. That I like, which is another advantage for LSU over SC as well, is that line. I think all you have to do is keep the defense on the field a little bit in the first half. Second half, you coast if you're LSU. That's my thoughts. We're going to see. We're going to find out a little bit about that defensive depth there at SC. 44-36. Oh, that's a big. You're picking them big there, huh? Okay. 8-point win. Bryce has got LSU. You guys are really picking freaking Lincoln? Are you shitting me? Playing from behind early. Okay, I got you, Stephen G. Got you. Are you gonna give us a freaking winner then, Trojan Fight? Or are you just gonna keep saying shit? Because you haven't got what the fuck we doing? Oh man. Full of talk. Yeah, no, he's not even. I mean, you don't even have to make the bet for God's sakes, but give us a fucking score or a winner. I don't care what you really, Justin Q says LSU. Kyle, I can't believe all these Oklahoma fans picking SC. I'll be damned.
Wow.
LSU until Riley can show something better defensively. Yep, agreed.
I'm with Ken.
LSU Chicken says throws pixie dust in the swamp and receivers emerge like gators. You're not wrong.
I like it, Chicken.
I don't necessarily. This is an easy one for me too. I look. We have watched USC lose games to much lesser teams in the last couple of years. I mean, they're still better than Tulane. They couldn't beat them. Coach was there for that one.
I sure was. Yeah. And I loved every damn bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
I was right in the middle of all the USC fans.
Well, we can do it quite a bit. 34-28. Good. Finally. Shit, we didn't need to hear the explanation from you anymore. Just the score.
Well, that's a high-powered offense.
Yeah. 30 against that defense that you think is so shitty. You only get 34 on a Lincoln Riley freaking offense. What?
Against that shitty defense.
The hell was that? All right, guys. I appreciate it. I had to talk some shit. I'm sorry, man.
Kyle, I want him to go 1-12 or 1-11. Excuse me.
1-11. Who's the one against?
I don't give a shit. Okay. Hey, this game coming up. The game coming up. USC.
Okay. Good stuff. Listen, I think we find out a shit ton about both of these football teams this weekend. I think you find out a lot. Because there's going to be firepower on the offensive side. You've got promising coaches on both teams on the defensive side, but we don't know where they are. I think you find out a lot about these football teams this year. Oh, Trojan Fight's there.
All right, baby. I'm in.
$100 on USC versus LSU, then 100 on SC versus Notre Dame. End of the year, I pay 200 if USC loses both. Deal?
I'm in, baby. I'm in.
All right, lock it in. Lock it in. A draw, then we break it. Of course. All right, sounds good. LSU isn't bringing back its Heisman guy either. That's true. I still think they're better. Look, this guy, we know more about Garrett Nussmeier than we know about Miller Moss. We've seen Miller Moss one time against Louisville that looked like dog shit at the end of the year. Can't spell suck without USC. I was wearing that shirt the other day. I was. Reminds me, the merch store still open. We're just going to move it over to Hall of Fame Sooners as well. You can jump in there and get all your favorite Sooner gear, your coaches. I don't give a shit shirt, which is on the way. Stink ass cat. My fault. I'm sorry I haven't sent that yet. I just keep forgetting. It's sitting in the car. It will go out tomorrow. I promise. Going out tomorrow. We've got your shirts headed your way. Was that an illegal bet? No, we're just talking. We're just talking here. You trying to throw us in jail now? What's the matter with you? You're either going to tie or lose. What are you going to do? Betting on a draw. You can just give me your money if you want. Bryce talking shit. This is why you guys are going to like Bryce. He tells it like it is. Guys, we got to go. We've been going longer than we were expected to go. I appreciate everybody coming in here and seeing us. Look out for announcements on this channel as well as the Hall of Fame Sooner channel as well. We will see everybody. Hey, appreciate it, man. Season is here. It's exciting. Look for something from Bryce on Colorado. Y'all can chew him up and spit him out on it tomorrow. I'm going to record
Bryce
right after this.
Bryce, y'all are going to love Bryce. He does an incredible job. Incredible job.
Fun stuff, man. He's a great guy.
Even though we did beat his ass, right?
Right.
Even though we beat his Lovington Wildcats.
Look, hey, we're also opening up our Discord to everybody for free. You got to go in. The link will be in this description. I'll go in and get it. And then it'll also be on that Hall of Fame Sooners. But guys, we've got to get Hall of Fame Sooners to 1,000 subs. I'm going to try to continue to do one live stream or some kind of video every week. Make sure that I get over there and do something, because I'm going to be paying attention to what's going on with Oklahoma, even if I'm not always there. But I'm going to be there quite a bit. But in the end, good stuff is going to be a lot of fun, right? Going to be a lot of fun. But get into the Discord. You can jump in there, and I'll get that link right after this. Join the Discord. It's a lot of fun in there. They've been doing some amazing stuff in there. Stephen G and Ryman Lemon. I don't even know shit about how to do it, but it's really cool. I love it. Get in the Discord, check it out. Lots of fun times in there, even for the Texas fans. So it's kind of cool. Yeah. Hey, Benji even said it right there. Sooner Cowboys, good to see my man. Glad to see everybody in here tonight. Neilio, my man. Mars Jam.
Wipe your feet.
In Sterling. My guy, Sooner in Texas. Bevo. Sometimes I just don't understand. Stephen G. Justin Q. Brycey. We're going to get back with him in a minute. They're Chicken Bloody Guns. Garrett Bullware. Let's see who else we got in here. Kylo, our boy Kyle DePuis. Sooner in Texas. Ken O. Trojan Fight. Trojan Fight's always busting chops. I love it when he comes in, though. Jimmy Satterfield, good to see you, man. Mars Jams. Ken Sterling. Benji. Who else we got? Who else we missing? Stink Cat. He got us on a couple of good ones. Chicken as well. Thank you guys so much for the super chat. Very much appreciated. You guys are the best. We had, who was the other guy? Bumble, the USC guy was in here as well. Don't want to miss anybody. Had Kimberly K early on. Appreciate that coming in as well. Folks, if I missed you, my bad. Shawty and Coach I were both in. Appreciate you guys. Can't see anybody else that I hadn't seen, but if I missed you, my bad. Love you guys anyway. Bagman, there he is. Appreciate you guys coming in. Chris E. Yeah, Rob. Don't want to forget Rob. And, of course, Timothy Green. Hey, Timothy Green, make sure that we are shooting up a prayer for old Timothy Green. Doesn't sound like it's being good for him. You know, let's shoot up a prayer for our guy there. Lance Flore as well. Thank you guys for coming in. We will see you soon. I'm not going to say, well, we'll see you on the next one. Just don't know where it's at. What?
Hey, Jason, I just want to tell everybody something real quick. If you don't see me around much anymore, I got some things going on that I'm taking care of. But if you don't see me around much anymore, thank you for everything. And I may still be back on every once in a while, but I do have some things going on.
He's got some shit going on, but he's going to have some shit going on still.
Love you guys.
He's not going to get away with that. Just so we understand, Coach ain't going to get away with that shit running away.
No. I love being here. I love talking football. I like everybody, just talking a little noise and having some fun.
Sean D.
And so, Jason, thank you too for allowing me to always be a part of this. And like I said, it's all in fun. Trojan Fight. I love how you support your team. I love how you other guys support, the Sooners and the Longhorns and everybody else. So great job by you guys.
Purple Orca, Garrett Bulwer. Coach, I'm gonna tell you this. I love you, man. When Bryce left the channel and he had to do it, I was about to give it up, and I called Coach and got a hold of him. This ain't over though. So plans will be to get him on with me as much as I can. And whatever we got to do, if we got to start our own channel over here that's just for that show alone, cool. We'll do that too. Love to talk ball with you. It's one of my favorite things in the world to do. So you're not going anywhere. We'll figure this all out. There's just going to be some changes for now, but I think there's some opportunities for us to spend time together and have you on with me, different places. If it's wherever it's at. Look, Bryce likes talking to you. So, you can hop in with Bryce too. So we'll do some different things. Not too concerned about that. I love you, Coach. Damn.
I know that.
You make me cry on this before I leave. All right. Love all you guys. Appreciate everybody coming in. And I appreciate you, Coach. You know that. Thank you.
Absolutely. Likewise. Love you guys.
We will see you all on the next one.
Later.